Hodgetwins podcast. Yeah.
Every country outside of the United States and Israel want to recognize Palestine as a state. We're the only two countries.
Oh, and about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when France, Canada, what was the last one? Was it Australia? France, Canada, and one other country recognized.
Canada is Canada, right?
France, Canada. There was one more. Brett, what was the third country that recognized them? France, Canada, one other English speaking. No, it was another English-speaking country, first world country. But that that just goes to show how powerless they are. So they recognize Palestine to kind of try to get Israel to stop the starvation, right? Because they're at the time they were like, the mass hunger and people were dying and everything. It looked really bad optically for them to still be supporting Israel. So they did that kind of as like, yo, you guys got to stop doing this or else we're going to recognize Palestine. Obviously, the Israelis said, fuck you, whatever. And then they recognized them anyway. So I think that was more like a political move to try to check Israel and also kind of like wash a little bit of the blood off their hands. Like, look, we recognize Palestine, even though it doesn't do shit. But I think they did it more as a slight at Israel versus actually doing it for humanitarian reasons. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
It was like a political move, not a humanitarian move.
Right. Wasn't genuine at all.
France, UK, Canada. Shit, yeah.
Right, yeah.
France, UK, Canada were the three countries that recognized them. Yep.
Yeah, Canada came
Keir
out.
Starmer did it, yeah.
Yeah, Canada came out. Prime Minister said we recognize Palestine as a state.
Yeah,
And
France
Trump,
was the first one to say they were going to do it.
And Trump came out and said we stopping negotiations on tariffs because of those statements.
Yeah,
I remember Trump did that. I was like, that's wild. And I was like, even Matt Walsh chimed in on it. Matt Walsh of Daily Wire, he chimed in on it and said, wait a minute, you're going to penalize American businesses in Canada for Israel? And then it's like, that doesn't sound like America first.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny.
I do really, truly think we're not a sovereign country. Israel run things.
Yeah, and then they'll sit there and try to say, no, we don't, blah, blah, blah. The Qatar gives way more money, China gives way more money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's our argument, yeah.
They always say that, like, these other countries lobby more. Well, these other countries are under FARA, and number two, Congress isn't paid by Qatar. Right. And we don't have laws, and we don't have anti-Qatar laws, like I said before. It's like, come on, bro, are you guys fucking serious? Like, can Qatar control the discourse in the Ivy League universities?
Right.
No. And then the majority of Ivy League universities, the presidents are Jewish. I think of like the 7 or I think it was 8 or 9 Ivy League schools, the majority, 6 or 7 of them are run by Jews. So it's like, bro,
2% of the population.
2% of the population. Yeah, and then I'm really glad that Levine like said the shit that he said.
Yeah.
Because he literally said, we need to use our resources. We need to band together. We need to do whatever.
He's threatening us.
Yeah, and he's literally saying what their game plan is. Unite, use our resources, get motherfuckers canceled, make them broke, etc. That's the strategy. Oh, you don't like us? We're gonna make sure you're broke. We're gonna hurt you financially, and that's how they're able to shut people up. Like I remember when I got demonetized, because of this shit, everyone was like, "Oh, we ain't talking about Jews. Fuck that." Like they were reluctant to even have this conversation because of that, and and that's the desired effect. Punish one person so hard that everyone else gets chilled out, like the chilling effect.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man.
It is crazy,
and he said it openly in front of everybody.
Yeah, they're not even hiding it, bro. It's like when Trump went to the Knesset, he admitted, oh yeah, the Adelsons, yeah, they came and they gave money and they love Israel so much and they came more than anybody else. And I'm like, is this guy confessing here at the Knesset that he's influenced by the Jew? Like, bro, are y'all seeing this? Like, what the fuck? Like, it was absolutely nuts.
I wonder if there is genuine support for Israel or are they being blackmailed because when you find out about their religion, the Talmud, anybody practices Judaism, it's like it's a totally antithetical to Christianity.
It is. I mean, they don't believe in the divinity of Jesus whatsoever at all. Right. Like at least in Islam, like bro, if you go to Saudi Arabia and say some things about Jesus, like they're gonna fuck you up. They're gonna beat you up. Like the jihadists defend Jesus more than the fucking the Jews, man.
What you doing, Joe? Start it over, Joe.
Yeah, this is nuts.
I love Israel. I'm with you all the way. You will be bigger, better, stronger.
Bigger.
And more loving
Good catch.
than ever before. I love Israel.
Yeah, like him, what he said about the Adelsons, how they like came and, they love Israel and everything else like that. Like that was like a huge mask slip up there. I think Trump's at a point now where he just doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he just says what it is. It's like, whatever, and people, go crazy. But It's nuts, man. It really is crazy, and I think that it's going to get a lot worse. I just don't foresee. They're going to have to be clever about it because if they start banning people now, it'll be too obvious. But I predict shadow banning. I predict,
They need another incident. They need another like false flag incident or something.
Yep. They're going to need like something big to justify what's going on. And they've done it before, like in Australia. There were like swastikas randomly being drawn on like synagogues and shit, and they found out like it was actually Jews that did it.
Of course.
And literally,
just like the black people here, it's always a hate crime. You find out they the perpetrators behind the hate crime.
And and it's not outside of the realm. Like Israelis do false flags all the time. Like there's the Mossad's old motto used to be, "By deception we create war."
Right.
Like that's their old motto. The other one is "Rise up and kill them first."
Mm-hmm. So
that's what they do. I mean, look, I could tell one story. So at the end of the Bush era, there was he came across like a very big problem. What he found out, and they declassified this recently, he found out that the Israelis had almost started a war with the United States with Iran. And what ended up happening is basically this. Mossad operatives posed as CIA officers and met with people from the Baloch tribal group, right, who are a part of a terrorist organization called Jundullah, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a separatist group that's based out of Iran. I think they have some people in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, etc. They're kind of a diaspora people, kind of like Kurds, right? These Baloch people. And they've had issues with the Iranian government for a very long time. So they created this Jundullah terrorist organization. So what the Israelis did was they posed as American CIA operatives, gave them money and said, hey, conduct an attack in Tehran, Iran. Mm-hmm. So the Baloch guys are like, all right, cool. We'll take the guns and the money and the resources. Yeah, we hate them too, but why do you guys not want to meet us at this location, a NATO location? You guys want to meet us in this other place? Because they met at weird places. Mm-hmm. And they suspected that they might have been Jews or Israelis because they didn't want to meet at NATO locations. So that was weird. They're like, oh, fuck it. We're going to do the attack anyway. Luckily, the attack got foiled by the Iranians, and they arrested him. And when they caught the main guy who ended up getting put to death, he admitted, yeah, we got support, whatever. These guys claim to be Americans, but we think that they were really Israelis. So Bush finds out about this shit, does nothing. So basically, the Mossad tried to attack Iran, posing as CIA operatives that could have got us into a fucking war if those guys' terrorist attack had actually been successful. And this was recently declassified, and Bush didn't do anything. That goes to show and his administration was a lot of powerful Jews, so obviously it makes sense why he didn't do shit. Right. But these fucking guys used a terrorist organization to conduct an attack against their enemy and blame it on the United States. That's what they try to do. Is this our greatest ally?
That's nuts.
And this is like something that no one talks about. But like they've done this all the time, Levant affair, etc. That's just one example of a false flag.
Oh,
the
weapons
USS
of
Liberty.
Mass destruction. They've been lying to us for
They've been lying. Yeah, like they were the main ones that ran with it was Israeli intelligence that said the anthrax lie. Right. Oh, Mohammed Atta met with an Iraqi intelligence officer in Malaysia or some shit like that to pass off anthrax. That was a lie. He comes in and says, if we take out Saddam, it's going to have positive reverberations, whatever. Like, they've been lying to us, giving us bad intel, starting potential wars.
$10 trillion.
Yeah, $10 trillion. Like, this Baloch thing, like, I wish, I'm hopefully more of your audience is going to know about this now, but you guys can look it up. Look it up. The Balochist people in Jundullah tried to do an attack in Iran and Tehran and blame it on the fucking, and it was going to get blamed on the Americans. The Jews tried to do that. There's Mossad. And that's our greatest ally. Almost getting us into war with Iran.
Yeah, when they say that they are greatest ally, I'm just like, nah, that's a blood-sucking vampire. They're a parasite. They take all our resources, all our people, and fight that wars for them.
Oh, another funny thing, since we're on Iran, they bombed Qatar. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yo,
like,
our biggest military base is there.
Right.
You fucking idiots. Like, you guys bought, and they didn't even get the they wanted. The Hamas guys, because the Hamas guys were supposed to be, and they killed. I think they killed like a Qatari police officer or someone else. They didn't get any of the fucking Hamas guys they wanted to get. So they bombed them for no fucking reason. Put us in a bad spot. I think that's a big reason too why we're letting them train here in Idaho now.
Right.
We got we gave them their pilots can come over and train, and then we also signed this agreement with them with almost like if they get attacked again, it's like almost like a NATO trigger. like a pseudo NATO Article 50. Is it Article 51? Or Article 5? Double check for me just so I don't sound like a retard. But yeah, like so if they're attacked again, it triggers that where we have to defend them. And here's the other thing too, and this is another example of like why these fucking guys fuck us up. When they bombed Qatar like that, right, and failed, number one, we look like idiots because our base is there and we're supposed to protect them. And Trump had just struck like a business deal, got the jet from them, and they're going to invest in our infrastructure, etc. So they do that. They undermine our diplomacy there. And then on top of that, the Saudis are like, oh shit, if they can attack Qatar when the biggest military base is there with no fucking consequence, we need to fucking secure ourselves. What do? They go meet with the Pakistanis, sign a nuclear deal. Now Saudi Arabia basically is a nuclear superpower. Because if someone attacks Saudi Arabia, it's considered an attack on Pakistan, and they signed that agreement and that is like the beginning of like a Muslim NATO.
Right.
So Israel's cowboy fucking rogue foreign policy alienated us from one of our allies. Another one of our allies looked to another country for protection, another nuclear power. And this is what I mean when I say they put us in very precarious diplomatic situations because there's downward effects of the bullshit that they do that we have to clean up.
Yeah. You know what? I'm starting to understand that scripture now, the Bible, God's chosen people. I'm starting to understand that.
Article 5, right?
It's Operation Rising Lion.
No. The NATO statute whenever if they're attacked.
Yeah.
I think it's Article 5.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand that term. I think Jesus felt horrible for these people because they're the redheaded stepchild. They fuck everything up.
They do. Absolutely.
That's why he said that God's chosen
Article 5,
people.
sorry.
I got to clean up all y'all's damn messes.
Article 5, cornerstone, an armed attack against one member is considered an attack against all. Yeah, sorry. I always have to double check shit. I don't sound like being a fucking
dude, you
retard.
encyclopedia, dude.
I try. I try to take all the information I get and put it in a more refined and easy to digest thing. Like that Jundalot thing is like wild to me. I remember when I first read on it, I was like, what the fuck? Like this happened? Like these dudes try to do a false flag using our intelligence agency posing as us?
No, that was during
they had
the Bush
American
years,
passports and everything.
That was during the Bush. That was during the Bush years.
Yeah,
right?
it happened during the Bush
Wasn't there
years.
something similar, Joe, with two Jews in Iran? They was trying to blame Iran for something. They was going to assassinate Trump. But we found out it was Jews.
Oh yeah, I mean,
what was that?
The Iranian plot. I know what you're saying.
It's when Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And then they all immediately started to blame Iran.
Yep. And the other guy too.
Plot, we all know it.
Yeah, the Crooks guy and then the other guy, Ryan Ralph, I think, who tried to shoot him in Florida. They tried to blame that on Iran too. they always, bro, they always try to blame everything
Even
on
Donald
them.
Trump himself, he's like, if I get assassinated, you know it was Iran. He put it out on True Social.
That's
I couldn't
crazy.
Find that friggin' tweet anywhere though. It's like gone.
It's like it's been washed.
And we could be partners with Iran and make a bunch of money, and you know,
Right. They don't have to be our enemy.
they really don't, bro. And then people say, oh well, they say debt to America, whatever. Debt to America, debt to Israel. America's the big Satan, blah blah blah. Well, the reason why they say that is because we fucked their country up. Like, like they have a problem with the American government. Because here's the thing.
The sanctions and stuff too.
The sanctions of what we've done. But if you go back in history, right? Like we put that regime in charge. Operation Ajax, CIA, British intelligence, and Israeli intelligence, what did we do? We overthrew their democratically elected guy, Mossadegh. And when he got overthrown, that created the power vacuum for the theocracy of the Ayatollah to come into power. Because Mossadegh wanted to basically nationalize or protect the oil industry from British rule. Brits were like, we can't have that, right? So they overthrew him, and that's what led to the power vacuum. Which now because that led to the Shah. Excuse me. Yeah. So Mossadegh gets overthrown in the 50s or 60s. The Shah comes in. When the Shah came in, he was wildly unpopular with the people because he basically cucked out to the West. So let the Brits have all the oil they wanted, modernize, like westernized things, took infrastructure away. Basically, they were a vassal state for the West. The people didn't like that, right? So I said, fuck that shit. That's what led to the Iranian Revolution in the 1970s, which put the Ayatollah in power that they have now.
Yeah.
Khomeini, and then I think Khomeini. I get one with an L and one with an A. But the main thing is that we started with Operation Ajax. We started the coups, which led to the eventual, put the Shah in, and that led to the Iranian Revolution. So we've been fucking with their shit.
Yeah, most definitely.
For a while. So it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna feel some type of way.
Right.
Like we
would
overthrew.
have this. We would feel that type of way if they did it to us.
Yeah.
So it's just natural for them.
Same
to
thing
feel
with
the
Russia.
same.
We overthrew with the Maidan Revolution. We overthrew the pro Russia. Was it not Petrov? Who's the fuck? See, now I got to look it up. It was the prime minister who was more prime. He had a more central stance. Like he was cool with the Russians, but he also kind of wanted to be cool with the West. But he was a little bit more towards the Russians because obviously they're the neighbors. They couldn't have that. They're like, no, we need someone who's going to be 100% pro-West. Got him the fuck out of there. And then Zelensky comes in who's a puppet, and that's a big reason why Russia invaded Crimea. Because of the Maidan Revolution.
Trying to protect their borders.
Yeah, everyone thinks like, oh yeah, this war started in 2022. No, bro, this war started 2013 with the Maidan Revolution and us running a coup trying to destabilize them.
Right.
We do all kinds of bullshit, and then we wonder, I wonder why they hate us. Like we're Poroshenko. There you go. There you go. So, he tried to play both sides a little bit more with the Russians, but yeah, we had to overthrow him, and that led to the problems. And a lot of these conflicts, man, is like us self-inflicted.
A lot of the destabilization conflicts is going on in the world is because of Western civilization.
100%.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not sitting here saying like, yeah, like I sided with these other countries, but in order for us to understand why we have the conflicts that we have, we need to go into history and be very honest with ourselves. Look, we've created problems in Iran. Operation Ajax sent that country down a fucking downward trajectory when they had a democratically elected leader, right? With Russia, the conflict that with them invading in 2022, it didn't start in 2022. It started with us interfering and expanding NATO, right? It's just that no one likes to talk about this stuff because it puts accountability on us, right?
Right.
9/11 happened because of our interventionist foreign policy in the Middle East, right? And Osama wrote it like, yo, you guys have sanctions that have killed millions of Iraqis. Kids are starving. You've bombed Sudan. You've been supporting Israel, and they've killed thousands of Muslims. Like, this is why we don't like you. And when you actually understand why people have problems with us, it's like, damn, maybe we need to change our foreign policy a little bit where we're not interfering with everybody's business, right? Let these guys have some type of sovereignty, because I'll tell you this, if China set up fucking in Mexico, we'd be in there tomorrow.
Right.
We get mad at other countries for exercising the same exact national security precautions we would take.
It's almost like we're the communists.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
to a
what I'm
degree,
saying?
yeah. So, we have a very interventionist foreign policy that is very disruptive and invasive, and people are going to hate us for it. And I wish more Americans understood, because, most Americans don't care about foreign policy or pay attention to it.
Don't, no.
They care more about, getting their EBT and shit like that. But if we did, we'd probably be in a better position, right? Where their food would be cheaper. Right. Like, I remember the price of food going up sharply after Russia invaded Ukraine, because Ukraine's the breadbasket. So if you create like a problem in this area, in this interconnected world, when it comes to food shortages here, everyone's going to feel it across the world. It's 2022 back then. Like, we're in a globalized world. Like, we rely on each other for trade. If one area gets siphoned off or, closed in, that's going to create spikes in other places. So conflicts and wars absolutely contribute to the cost of living that's going to, you're going to deal with at the grocery store, at the gas pump. I'll never forget, because I, as a kid, when the Iraq war first happened, like in 2003, it started in March. Yeah, March of 2003. This is going to be a funny story. So there's a theme park in Connecticut called Lake Compounds, right?
Lake Compounds.
Lake Compounds. It's like, I don't know if they still, the Boulder Dash, I think it's like the fastest wooden roller coaster in America.
A wooden?
Wooden, yeah. They go, oh man, I've been on that shit once. No, never again. But it's a really famous theme park in Connecticut, right? And we go every summer. And I remember I was like, well, my uncle or my dad, and we were supposed to, fuel up and go there. And I remember we had to cancel the trip and not go because gas was like $6 a gallon.
Damn.
And that sticks in your head because you were looking forward to this, like, yeah, Lake Compounds. The fucking 13 years old, like, let's go. And we couldn't go because the gas was like $5 or $6 back then in 2003. And that was directly because of the war in Iraq.
Right.
So people don't understand that, like, until you get older sometimes, foreign conflicts absolutely affect you at the gas pump, at the grocery store, and everything else. And
it's like the human body. When something goes wrong, it's going to create a bunch of symptoms.
Precisely, right? Like if you have a tight hamstring, your lower back is going to be cooked.
Yep.
You're going to be, we can't do back snaps no more, right?
Right.
Can't do deadlifts.
Right.
So like, yeah, 100% with the fitness thing. So like, people don't a lot of Americans don't understand how foreign policy and wars and conflicts absolutely affect us domestically here because we think, well, I don't give a fuck about that. It doesn't have anything to do with us. It actually does quite a bit.
It does. It does. Have a ricochet effect.
Yeah. And that was my number one, when I voted in 24, that was my number one priority was foreign policy because I look at it like, look, you can always fight inflation by making more money or working harder. Like you can deal with that.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you could do if we have nuclear warfare, man. Like, and I don't think us fighting with the Russians and escalating conflicts in the Middle East is in our best interest because I think China's the real threat. You know, I don't think these sandwiches in the Middle East really. Why are we wasting time here? Like, bro, China's like expanding, getting stronger. Yeah. They haven't had to fight all these wars, so they've been able to build up their army,
they don't send a bunch
their
of
economy.
aid to other countries either.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck, right? And if they do send aid, it's in their interest with like the Belt Initiative, they're investing in Africa and getting precious minerals, etc. So it's like, ships are built in that part of the world. Most ships are built in that part. So it's like, dude, we're losing influence, we're losing economic power, etc. And they're trying to destabilize the dollar, right? With BRICS. So it's like we've been so focused on fucking attacking people in the Middle East, and we haven't been dealing with like the real political adversaries that we have to deal with, our real rivals, Russia and China. And we're pushing our allies, like Saudi Arabia, for example, closer and closer into their fucking influence.
Right. It's like self-destructing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we can't just keep this up. 38 trillion in debt, right? All these other fucking problems.
42 million people on SNAP.
Yeah.